This meeting is called to order. We will start off with the roll call.
Ms. Diana Ruiz,
Present.
Ms. Claudia Garcia,
Present.
Ms. Liliana Gomez, absent.
Absent.
Natalie Farias, absent.
Absent.
And Ayala Palacios, present.
Okay, first, we do have a quorum, so we will continue. First item on the agenda is public comments, and I believe we have Mr. Fletcher that is here to share some information with us.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman. For the record, I'm Kenneth C. Fletcher. I live in Mid-Pharr, Middle Pharr. Mid-Pharr sounds more exotic. And I've spent a lot of time this last 2 weeks going over to the South Pharr Library. And I noticed that there's a lot of violations of city ordinances. And like the Pharr Memorial Library, the mission statement, the Pharr Memorial Library strives to promote the love of reading and serves as a gateway to knowledge for our community. I tried to look for mission statement for South Pharr, and you know, it should be the same, but add a little bit of bilingualism to it. I was very fortunate to go on a tour of the city of Pharr with the beautification committee, even though I'm old and ugly. And we stopped at the Pharr Memorial Library, and I was really surprised to find out that it's really not a library, it's a USDA research and development. And I've attended 3 talks there, so it's a wonderful, wonderful facility. But I think you could get more people to approach the building and maybe go inside. And I said this on the tour bus: if you put the word free, and then in little letters when you get close or inside, put the word knowledge. So there's free knowledge and it's free Wi-Fi, but we need more people attending there. I think in the library report for South Pharr, you're going to find out that maybe there's 17,000 people there, but that includes groups like I had coming over, and City of Pharr employees and various groups meeting there. The library itself needs more attendance. And we had a town hall meeting that the mayor led. It's very informative on the drainage problems we have here in Pharr. But I'm looking around in that huge room, and if you don't know, it's technically called the exhibit hall. And why we need, I think it's 3 stories at least, maybe 4 stories tall, all that space, I think it could be used, and you could attract children for like STEM if you had the GIS, the flying camera, and maybe a computer program to build the little drones, so that's a possibility, attracting more people there. And also, I suggested on that tour bus of the city for beautification that would be a beautiful idea to hold English as second language over there, and let people know their rights. This is being done in PSJA, but because of the lack of enforcement of the sign ordinance, it's ordinance 2014-21, which I learned about online. There's 32 computers over there, but really one never has worked and probably never will. That's where I study, because it's quiet over there. So I appreciate extra place where we can gain knowledge, and like I say, it's quiet, but it's a little bit too quiet. And outside, I still suggest it's like a desert out there, you know, to plant more native plants. And cactus grows quickly. You can see examples of that off of Moore Road, and you can add other plants and vines to the cactus.
Dr. Fletcher?
So I guess my 3 minutes has elapsed, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes, and I guess we don't have minutes for this. So then we will go to the next item, which is presentation of director's report.
Thank you very much. Rodolfo Garcia, the Library Director for the City of Pharr. I'll just go ahead and present some stats that on the library and the library in South Pharr that keep it through the end of the fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts October 1st through September 30th of the following year. So it kind of just jumped from one year to another. This will be 17, fiscal year 17-18, and finished off in September. I do want to make sure that you guys are aware of what's going on in both facilities, so I wrote in the stats for both facilities in my report. The gate count that he was talking about is 17,859. That is the gate count for the library itself. And don't think this is just 1 month. This is from the time we open to the end of September. I know it says there's a typo there through August, but it's actually through September 30th of 2018. So it is a good gate count. I mean, you're talking about 30,000 people almost that are living South Pharr. So we garner people going in there. It's not counting people who are going into both, not because they go to a different side of the DRC. And it's not counting the people who are going in to see our community liaison officer. And it's not counting the students who go and use the facility for parks and recreational purposes. So they go to the exhibit hall. These are just strictly my gate count on the library component of the DRC.
So that would be the 17,000?
Yes.
Is that the count for what, from the opening date to now?
Yeah, to September 30th. So, and we do that, we keep track of.
But we still need to increase.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
We need to maybe think of, I don't know what ways we can, I guess, the more we use it, the more people will become aware of it, the more we use it for other purposes, like, for example, election day. I think that might make people aware of the facility, and also maybe encourage them to go also.
yes, keep in mind, we've only been open since the end of January, so it's only a few months. The library here and the main library has been open since 1930, so you can't compare this library to our South Park facility. This library, we're almost at 30,000 square feet. Over there, just the library side, well, the whole building is almost 25,000 square feet, but just the library side is about 9,000 square feet. So, but we do offer, I mean, what I tell people is they have all the new stuff. So we have new computers, new furniture, new staff, new books. And books is collection development, so we're constantly buying new books so that kids can read.
Good. That's good.
And the more the board promotes the library use, the more we'll have, more people will show up. A lot of people say, well, I didn't know it was here, but through promotion, I think, and working with our media department to make sure that people are using our facility. It's a great facility. The library gate count at the main library is over 200,000 people who walk through the door. Circulation, we've circulated over 15,000 books. These are the hard copies, the hard books you get from the shelf. You get your library card, you check it out. There's a number of books that have been circulated at the library. And here at our main, we're talking about over 96,000 checkouts. As far as revenue, so we do charge for certain services, faxing. We also charge for scan to email, and there's also a fee if people don't bring back their books on time. Which, maybe at our next meeting, I'm going to propose a new idea that's been going on at other libraries across the country, which would be not pursuing fines for children's books, which is not a novel idea that I'm proposing, but I want to make sure that kids don't get fined for not bringing the book on time, because it's ultimately the parents' fault. So I can see why we should charge a kid's account for a book for the responsibility of the parent bring the kids so they can turn it back to the book. So I know the McAllen Library is already pursuing that. So my opinion is maybe we should do it here as well. But it's something that we should talk. I'll talk to my boss, our city manager, and the city commission. They will make that ultimate choice, but with the recommendation of our board.
Going back to promoting the library count, have you all thought of any type of events like bringing authors into the library? Because I know like McAllen has that this weekend on Saturday.
The South Texas Book Festival.
Yes, they do. Have you thought about ideas of bringing that?
We've had similar events here at the main library, but because the other place is so new, it's kind of hard to bring them to two different locations. If we do it, it would have to be centralized. Either we have it here or we have it over there at the DRC. So yeah, I'll see if Mike can set something up to bring in local authors. The big authors, of course, they have publicists, so we have to pay them.
Yes. I'm just talking like local.
Yeah, so because we do know a lot of local authors, and we've had it here. That would we set the plan so that they can have so like people get over there at the DRC. And so revenues just over $5,600. Our revenues here at our main library is over $66,000, just about 67. It was a record year as far as revenues. It's not something. We do bring in money for the city, so we should be proud that people are paying their fines and dues. Even though it is a free service, there are things that we do charge for. We still have to pay the bill, so just a little bit so that people are responsible about bringing back the books. And the service of faxing and copying and printing, of course, there's an added service, but the cost.
It's a very low cost. I've used it in the south.
Yeah, printing is nearly nothing. It's 10 cents per page. We do offer color printing as well, so people can get color printouts. And of course, if there's some reason that people can't pay, we do make accommodations for that. Understand they're students. Students normally don't have a lot of money, so we make accommodations so that if they can show that they can't pay, then we make certain accommodations to them. As you know, we do have a little cafe at our library here that generated a little bit over $26,000. So over there, my plan was originally to have a vending area, but not inside the library because we don't allow it. And consumables inside the library because, of course, it's brand new. If you want to mess up the carpet or furniture. But it's rough. I mean, the space is set up so we can provide vending services. Provide several vending machines so that people going in can use the lobby area to eat something, to buy something there. But of course, as we continue, I think, and the traffic picks up, then that'll merit installing those vending machines.
Of course.
Of course, through the end of fiscal year 17-18, we had budgeted a little bit over $1.5 million, and we just closed the books on a lot of the expenses, so we expended about $1.4 million. A lot of it has to do with salaries. We do have to pay our staff. And for next year, we're budgeting a little bit more. I would say about $10,000 more in our budget. So we're at 1.5, a little bit over $1,563,500. One big thing we are doing is that we wrote into this new budget is we're replacing all the computers in the main library. We have a total of about 85 public computers. We're doing all the ones on the first floor. That's about 55 computers that we're replacing. Of course, the DRC has brand new computers, so I'm not going to replace brand new computers. They're brand new.
Pointless.
Yeah. We completed promotions. Of course, the new budget, everything's bundled, so all the expenses are go through the main library. So any programming budgeted, anything that we have to spend at the DRC library will go through the main library. We did complete a library card sign-up month, so we went out to schools and made sure that the schools that we went out to, we want to make sure that the kids had library cards. So we want my goal is to have at least a population of the city of Pharr to have a library card. So we're talking about 73,000 library cards. We're probably at about 55,000, so we're a little short of having everybody in the city of Pharr with a library card. So,
Have you done that at Escalante, the middle school that's really close to the library?
we've gone there, but I don't think, yeah, we have. I think my staff has a good connection with the librarian at Escalante, and she calls us usually around September, so we can do promotion. Now, I don't have numbers as to how many kids got a library card, but we did go there. You're talking about the middle school, right?
Yes.
Yes. And we also finished up National Hispanic Heritage Month at the DRC at the library. We dedicated, we did a sort of like a dedication for the mural. As you can see, the picture at the very end, that's kind of like, if you look above it, that's the mural that we have in the exhibit hall. I would encourage you to take a trip to the library. If it's locked, and ask the staff, will allow you to go to the back of the exhibit hall area. And it's a beautiful mural, as you can see there, and it's enormous. I'm about 50 by maybe 20 feet. And it's up high so that, you know, it won't get damaged.
It won't get damaged.
Yeah. So just pictures of different areas of Pharr and our connection to our sister country to the south of Mexico. So, and you can see the flag, both flags there. And we also finished up a Harry Potter Halloween, along with a Halloween haunted house. One of our board members of the DRC was present. She was pleasantly surprised that it was a very scary haunted house. So we do it every year. Unfortunately, the library in South Pharr doesn't lend itself to putting together a haunted house.
Yeah.
We do have staff here available, you know, over about 30 staff members plus volunteers. So we're able to do it here in our main library. Doesn't mean we can't do it over there. It's just the logistics of having a lot of people over there put it together. And there's a lot of lighting inside the library. So over here we don't have as many windows like we do in South Pharr, the library there. So it's kind of hard to make it dark and scary for haunted house at the DRC library. But we'll work at it. I think come next year, the city has a lot of plans to kind of change up the events. So hopefully we'll have a good Halloween event at the DRC library. Again, budget items replaced first floor library computers. And one other thing that the mayor also dedicated was a time capsule that will be, it's going to be a time capsule. It's going to be at the DRC, kind of as you're looking at it, the front to the left on the library side. There's going to be sort of like a little reflection area with a time capsule that's going to be buried there. That hopefully will start construction at the end of December. So it'll be like a little, they call it a little pocket park, where you have benches, and then they'll have in the center of it, the time capsule will be buried there of what's current now and what the mayor dedicated back in the State of the City address. So all that information that they received during the State of the City address, it's going to be buried in the time capsule. So.
Do you know about how long it's going to take for construction?
Construction will take about at least 2 months. It's a lot of just cement work and site work. Not a lot of, not a building. It's just an area with maybe a canopy and also seating benches that we can start. So, and we're also setting up a bus shelter so that the route for the Valley Metro will be going through the DRC, and it'll be a dedicated bus stop so that people traveling on public transportation on West Lake Road or in that area will be able to stop there at the DRC. It's a dedicated bus. Will be a dedicated bus stop within a month. We'll have that up. And the pictures there. Of course, we had an adult program. One of our board members was there, and. Like I said, the facility is being used. We had our team building event. It seems to be very popular for other departments to go and have meetings with their staff, meetings with other directors, and that's why you see the picture of all. That's all city staff, permanent directors, and some of their assistants who we hosted there to have a team building event. The second part of the report will be some of the meetings, and Mike will cover that. Some meetings from back in July through the end of September. As you can see, there's a lot of agencies that have been using it.
Yes,
So I'll give the mic to Mike.
Give the mic to Mike.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mike Singletary. I'm the branch manager over there at the Development and Research Center. We've had several organizations, and the word is getting out that we have these meeting rooms and the exhibit hall in the back. So we have a lot more organizations reserving time to use it. In July, we had, it was a citizenship class, but it got canceled. The instructor wasn't able to attend, so it got canceled. It was yeah, it was canceled. We have had CBP training. We've had EDC and the Mexican consulate have meetings in. Halliburton had their employee orientation. Arts and Recreation had their theater program. They had a play, and the students would practice in our meeting. Vanguard had their dance camp practice in our conference rooms. Again, PDC and Halliburton had another orientation. Parks and Recreation had their dance camp and their theater program. We had United Healthcare come and have a presentation there. We've had the Bridge Connect, the Pharr International Bridge. They have trainings there for the truck drivers on the new software programs that they use and trailer routes and things like that. In August, it's more of the same. It's these same organizations that are reserving it. Customs and Border Protection, CBP. City of Pharr had an emergency management training. The communications department and the police department, fire department, they had unfortunately they had active shooter training, just in case that situation happens anywhere in the city. We've had the Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge. They scheduled a meeting, but it got canceled. CDBG had a team building exercise. I believe that one's the photo that you see in the packet. Bridge Connect, August 23rd. August 23rd, we also had our first cooking class. It was a chamoy apple. It was our first class, and it was kind of a rocky start, but you know.
Are you having these classes during the day or in the
in
evening?
the evening?
In the evening?
Yeah. During the day, we kind of figure people are at work, or you know, they have kids at home, or you know, people have more free time in the afternoon, so we schedule it in the afternoon. In September, we had another CBP training, Pharr PUDC, United Health, IT had their team building, Bridge Connect, and Vanguard Academy had their teachers in service. So the meeting rooms are getting used. The conference rooms on the side and the exhibit hall in the back for the larger rooms.
How many rooms do we have? 32?
We have, the conference room is one large room, but it has a partition wall which separates it into two. So if it's a smaller group, about 30 or less, we put up the wall and they use half of it. During the voting, we put the partition wall and we had the voting on one side, which left the other side for organizations to use it. And the exhibit hall in the back is a really large room that has a limit of 300 people. So.
And that exhibit hall is being used every day by Parks and Rec, correct?
Right. Parks and Rec uses it for their, it's their fall programming. They don't call it after school programming, they call it their fall programming, which includes dance, karate, tumbling, and arts and crafts, and other things.
Oh, okay.
That's not what they're doing at the campuses, or I thought they left the kids at the campuses.
I'm not
That's
sure.
after school.
That's after school.
That's the after school program.
Okay, so this is something else.
It's something else, yeah. It's, on paper, it's called their fall activities.
And then what time do they?
They go from 5 p.m.
5 until-
all the way till 8. So the library staff leaves at 7 and they stay there till 8.
Do we have a good turnout then?
As far as their programming, I'm not sure about the specifics, but Last time I asked Sarah, the person in charge of their activities, she said we had about 50 kids enrolled. That was the last time, it was about a month ago that I asked. I don't know if they have more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Parks and Rec activities, those are paid activities that
Yeah.
parents pay.
Their parents pay for.
Yeah, sort of like football program or basketball programs, these are activities that they normally charge. And the reason they're hosting it there is because the Pepe Salinas Civic Center is getting remodeled, and it's going to be the new Parks and Rec offices in the coming months. They already did the groundbreaking, so they used the DRC to host those activities. Next, I'm going to have Santiago Salinas, no, Vasquez, I'm sorry. He's our children's librarian, just to kind of fill you in on some of the children's programming at the DRC. That way, you're well informed of what we're doing.
Good evening. Once again, my name is Santiago Vasquez, and just want to give you some information. Right now, we're really pushing the STEM education, but we do call it STRING for science, technology, reading, so we put the reading in there. So if you have an opportunity, go by on Sunday between 2 and 3 p.m. Everything, of course, this month is themed after Thanksgiving, a lot of pumpkin things that we're doing. So we just did dancing corn. This weekend, we're doing a pumpkin geoboard. And then we're going to be doing pumpkin pie Play-Doh. That is edible, so if you want to go taste it. Supposedly it tastes like pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin pie, so staff does. And then we're going to be doing pumpkin structures. So we're really trying to help with education and sort of team up with teachers that are in the area to go by and give us some ideas of how we could better that. So if you have an opportunity, please stop by, talk with staff, and maybe make some recommendations with them. Also, we do have how does it work? And actually, we have this going on. So everything's simultaneous going on at both libraries. Today we did how waves interact and how waves are developed. So we've seen a lot, we get a lot of ideas from the teachers' websites, and of course you have Scholastic and you have other teacher sites that provide information, but we also are still in partnership with Su Casa Esperanza. So every first Wednesday of the month we go out there and we work with the parents on teaching them how to work and read with their children. And then we also teach them how to do crafts and stuff like that. So another thing that we're also doing is we're still continuing with the outreach. Any opportunity we have to be in the schools, in the libraries, or in any of the classes. On the 15th, we'll be going out to J.C. Kelly Elementary to provide some information about our library. And every outreach that we do give an opportunity. We go ahead of time, pass out information so that the kids can have them take home their applications for library cards, bring them back in the day so they can get their library card. So we've been participating in quite a bit of different schools, and then also we're going to be working on a little bit more outreach in the area, not necessarily towards the schools, but into like the local areas that will let us in, so we can sort of provide a little bit more information about what we do as a children's department and what we have coming up. Just for a little bit ahead of time, in December 13th, we do have our Christmas party planned. So we will be holding that at the Pharr Memorial Library, but we will be promoting it heavily in the South branch at the DRC. Is there any questions I can answer for you this time?
You're having the party where? Here at the...
Yes, it'll be at the Pharr Memorial this time.
Now, let me ask you, is it possible that you could email us this, the programs for the month? Email it to us
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
at the beginning of every month, because maybe if I see it, I'll make more of an effort to go and attend some of these.
Yes, because like I don't know, since I don't have a child in school. Like he's old enough to go to school, but he's not in school.
Okay.
So I don't have any of this information, like what activities he can go to.
Okay.
Because I know you all do a calendar every month.
Yes, we do have a calendar every month. We place it on Facebook, and we also place it on our city page. And then it is shared with a lot of homeschool liaisons, and a lot of people share it. But if you don't have an opportunity, what I can do is we can gather your emails, and I'll go ahead and send that out to you so you have an idea. And we'll go ahead and send already, we'll have November and December for you.
Yeah, I think the secretary, or your secretary, send us
Yeah,
the
definitely we will.
the agenda, so I think they have them already. Just have them, just send us the I guess a month, or any really neat, activity that you're having. Maybe we could can really make that.
Promote 'em.
Yeah, promote them.
And as ourselves go.
Yeah, definitely, that'd be great. Any other questions? Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Santiago Vasquez.
You changed your last name.
Well, that concludes my report, along with the supervisor's report on, well, Mike. He recently got promoted to branch manager, so he's officially our branch manager for the South Pharr Development Center Library.
Congratulations.
And Santiago, of course, our supervisor, so I do want to recognize them both. Also, our administrative assistant here with us. So thank you again for coming to the meeting. We did have a quorum, so we'll go ahead. If you don't have any more questions, that concludes my report.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Then you need to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second that.
Okay, motion carries. Steve, who's here?
Have a great afternoon.